Hey, what's up? We're back in the car, back on the 710 freeway, and I wanted to share a little bit of, it's not advice, it's like ideas. I just want to share some ideas about some personal projects that you can kind of get going for yourself, so that you can make more cool stuff, because there's nothing wrong with making cool stuff. So I've got 5 ideas, and we'll see if I can remember them while I'm driving. So I'm sure that plenty of you guys have thought about and heard people talking about how important it is to get personal projects done and put together in a really nice way so that you can present them to people who actually buy art. Well, that is really important. One, because you'll usually have way more passion for that thing because it's personal to you than if it was just a homework assignment. So take these things as like guidelines. You'll probably see a thread that is continuous through them. It's kind of like your nostalgia plus something that is relevant to our society, and then how can you make that into an art project or a song or a design or whatever. So let's get after it. Okay, idea number 1. Illustrate your favorite album, or make a design after your favorite album. Here's what you do. You take each song on the album, and you either take the title of the song and just as a title, and make an illustration or a design based on that, or a painting, whatever, based on the title, or you listen to the song and you feel the mood of it, or some of the lyrics or whatever, and maybe it's a really story, narrative driven song. Then you could make a comic out of it. You could do whatever you want out of it. But you take an album that you love all the way through, and then each song, bang, 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 bang. You make an illustration, you make a painting, a drawing, all based on that thing, and you bring it to a level of finish that you actually feel like is, like if it was homework, you would turn it in as your homework. You are the art director, and you've already gone through all the list of kind of, that's not so great. We'll get it to the final art version. Then you tag the artist if they're still living, or you tag people that are involved in that genre of music, and you would use relevant hashtags when you share each piece. For instance, on Twitter, you can actually reply to your own tweets, so you can have one big list. It's just to make a story, one big story. Share it on Instagram as a story, and then as a post also, and then you have 10 days worth of content. Of course, it's going to take you a little longer than 10 days to probably complete it, but that's okay. At least you're working. You can share your development of it the whole time. You can also consider making a hashtag for the project, and then invite your artist friends to be a part of that. So that's one. Okay, number 2, take a sports team, or it doesn't have to be a sport. Well, yeah, that is a sport, what I'm thinking. It could be a chess team. I mean, it could be anything, any kind of team activity for your town or your city. and you take each rookie, like the newest people on that team, and you create a like a vintage style Topps. Topps is a company that made baseball cards. Baseball card, basically, out of that rookie with their stats, their like interesting things about them. So you'll have to do a little bit of research on them, and then you make a portrait out of them, and you do it in that style. If you're a photographer, you could manipulate some photos that you find of them. You'd have to, of course, give credit to the original photographer, and you couldn't make money off of that. But it would be an awesome way to welcome these people onto the team. And if it's your town, it's literally the town is welcoming these new people to the team. That would feel so awesome if I was a rookie getting onto a team and kind of maybe feeling a little uncomfortable about, my position or whatnot. Anyway, that would be awesome to come onto a team and have somebody making something so cool about that. So that's one cool thing. Also, rookies on teams typically are the ones who are most social media active, so you can tag them. There's a good likelihood that they will retweet, repost your stuff, and that's awesome. You're helping them. You're putting something cool into the world, and you can hashtag the crap out of that thing. All right, number three. Take 3 of your favorite characters from a book or one of your favorite movies, but 3 characters, and you turn them into professional wrestlers, and you give them a backstory as a professional wrestler. You do costume designs, you do character design, you have to write copy for their background, where they came from, and then you give them like a billable height, like what it says on their roster sheet. I don't know what that would be. Then, so you have the character then, right? You have your wrestler. Then think about it from a promotional standpoint, what the company, how they would promote that wrestler. So think of like those big foam fingers, like what kind, maybe it's a big hand, maybe the guy has a hand symbol that he does a lot in the movie or the book or whatever, and you can incorporate that into their merchandise. Maybe you have to make t-shirts for them. So you create this whole thing, and what you're showing is you're showing your ability to build a world that you might not be familiar with, but is very vibrant. The culture of professional wrestling is super vibrant, and it definitely has a lot of character and a lot of backstory. So you are jumping into a world that is already really rich with kind of stuff that you can play with. So yeah, that's number 3. Okay, number 4 is a straight redesign of a toy. You take one of your toys from your childhood that you love, and you completely redesign it. What you have to start with is the basis of what your thing is. Let's say it's He-Man, right? So you take the same names, which would be Eternia for He-Man, it would be He-Man, and it would be Skeletor, would be some evil character, the evil character, right? So you would take the names of those favorite toys, and you would just totally redesign the look, the feel, maybe even the conceptually how you would play with them. Maybe you turn a figure into a board game, or you turn a figure into a video game. Then you can write copy for the back of your board that the little figure comes in. Maybe you make a box for it. So you would repackage, you would redesign the figure, you would write copy for the packaging, and then you could even, if you wanted to go all out, you could figure out a way to do marketing for it. So TV or whatever kind of ads, you can storyboard that. So that's number 4. Okay, number five. Number five, sadly, no longer do I eat cereal. But boy, do I remember the days when I would literally, with my brother, eat a whole unopened box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch in one sitting. I mean, I don't know what we were doing, and I don't know what life we were living that we were able to plow through one of the giant boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch in one sitting, but somehow it happened, and it was probably a miracle. So reconsider your philosophy in general if you don't have room for miracles, because I can testify to it. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to take your favorite cereal and you are going to design a mascot for it, or redesign a mascot for it. Fruit Loops, all those cartoony character cereals, they have mascots. You'll have to redesign that if it's yours. But I think it would be hilarious to see like a mascot for Honey Bunches of Oats or Grape Nuts. I mean, that stretches your design ability, and that stretches your how you can attach reality, the reality of, hey, let's market this to children. This really happens. And of course, sometimes you have to go, is this really something that we should market to children? But that's not your concern this time. You have been tasked with the job of making a cartoon character that is fun and approachable and cool. And then I think that you should also write a tagline that is part of the marketing campaign. Also, if you're awesome and you can sing and you can play music, consider writing a little jingle for it. Because dang it, jingles are catchy, and it would be super fun to like have this whole package of like, hey, I created this whole thing, redesigned. And if you're trying to get into marketing, I mean, just the fact that you are doing that with an existing cereal, and then you show that not only do you have the chops to design the character, but you could redesign the box, you could redesign anything you want about it, the shape of the cereal, and then you give it copy that you've written, and you are a machine. If it turns out good, like 3 of those, you could get into any kind of design agency, at least a foot in the door. At least they'll remember you, and that's like one of the biggest things. Hey, this crazy person redesigned and wrote songs for this cereal that we all know, and you should check it out at least. Well, then you have a foot in the door, and people are actually looking at your stuff rather than just being one of the many portfolios that they get every day. So just consider that stuff. If you guys do any of these things, please tag me. My Instagram is @itsbillmain, and I would love to see your stuff. And if you want any kind of, if you just want feedback or something, I can get to that too. That would be really fun for me. And I work in a marketing department right now, so it would be really fun to see your juices flowing. I'm sorry. Apparently, driving and talking sometimes make me stupid in the brain.